Kirsty gets a job at a pet store
Oh yeah, that guy, the
because
demon.
can we please discuss the homeless guy? Because this guy is I don't like him. I'm very terrified of him. Greetings, fright fiends, and welcome to another wonderful episode of the Scary Movie Project, the podcast where we talk about scary movies and have such sights to show you. And if you're watching on YouTube, because of course you are seeing the box. This is going to be a fun episode. You saw the box from the Lament Configuration box because a woman discovers the newly resurrected, partially formed body of her brother-in-law and lover. She starts killing him to revitalize his body and escape the demonic beings that are pursuing him after he escaped their underworld. 1987, Clive Barker's Hellraiser. I'm in my hand. I'm holding the box from the film, signed by Doug Bradley Pinhead himself. Today, we're talking about that. Sara Alepin is here with us today.
Hello.
Sara, say hello. How the heck are you?
I'm doing well. I've watched a lot of Hellraiser in the last 48 hours,
Would
so
you say you've raised a lot of hell?
I have. I have.
Okay. Would that be just a terrible, terrible line? We could just stop the show right now. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Anyway, so this is a I really like this movie. This is a very unique film, I feel like, in ways, right? So here also, because you're watching on YouTube, Books of Blood, okay? This is Clive Barker's Books of Blood. And he's a really cool author. I like a lot of his stuff, right? And in here, so Hellraiser is 1987, directed by Clive Barker as well, based on his short story, The Hellbound Heart, okay? There are some differences. They're not major, sort of, but the story is essentially still the same, right? So we can touch on that though. But are you ready to jump in to talk about 1987 Hellraiser? And
I am so ready. Can
in
I
all its
start
cinematic glory,
can I start you off with one trivia
you
though?
sure can.
So they wanted to name this movie The Hellbound Heart after, of course, the novella.
Yeah, I've heard
Um,
that.
the studio decided it sounded like a romance.
I mean, I can see that. Yeah, especially if you put the word hell inside there, you're gonna probably get more of a message. I would guess. Yeah, I would guess so.
Yes. So they ended up, they requested that Clive Barker change it, and Barker offered sadomasochist from beyond the grave as his
That
alternative.
that one I'm not gonna go so much with. That title's gonna pretty much turn everybody off. I don't even know if I'd be interested in watching that. I'm lying. I would, but yeah, you're not gonna get a lot of folks off the street with that one. That's not gonna go for
Yeah, it was rejected because of sexual content,
it.
and
Uh-huh.
he ultimately opened the floor to the production team to offer their own suggestions, and a 60-year-old female crew member offered up what a woman will do for a good fuck.
I like that too. I like that too. But
Starting
we
off
ended
strong.
here we are with Hellraiser instead. So that's what we got. Okay, so there's a market, I guess, for lack of a better term, you want to call it, right? And two dudes are sitting there with, I must point out, two of the most with disgusting fingernails in the history of mankind. They're
And
sitting there.
teeth.
It's so, I mean, whatever. The nails are just so gross. And they're passing around. What's your pleasure? And he tells him, and he passes him the box, as I keep saying, the box. And he gives him the box, and the guy says, I want to buy the box. I want to buy the puzzle box, right? It's this cool looking gold and black puzzle box. And he buys it. The dude's like a total sex fiend, whatever, hedonist, whatever you want to call him. Frank is his name. And he goes back to his house and he's sitting around in a room with candles and stuff. And he figures out the box and he opens it up and puts it back together and summons up the Cenobites, okay? And he brings them to life and they drag him to the underworld, into hell. And it's brutal and there's chains. And the room that they go into is like so disturbing, right? Like with all the body parts hanging on the walls and the
His body
chain.
parts. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just nasty and it's like wet and oozing and
Oh,
chains and it's just it's like it's a great start. It's a great first like opening scene because it's unlike stuff you've really seen before, right?
really throws you in.
Yeah, it really does. It's really cool. And you jump ahead to what is it? Larry, his brother, right? Front desk is Frank's brother, and his wife Julia, his second wife Julia. They are gonna move into the house, and we're in London, right? And no one had lived there for a while, and the house is, it's gross because no one's lived there for a while. There's obviously like beds, there's mattresses laying around with junk and squatters and rotten ass food laying around with like larvae. It's
Yeah.
so gross.
And
And like,
Jesus stuff
yes,
everywhere.
giant Jesus statues hanging over like the stairway and everything, and the stained glass windows. And you're already like in this really interesting world of design to me. Like I'm in this place of it's odd. I don't, like I always say with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I don't want to be here. Like I don't belong in this place right now. Like this is the same. I don't really feel good about this house. It's weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, they're walking around and she's all Julia, oh, it's so gross in here. I don't like this and da da da. But they decide they're gonna move in. Okay, great. We'll move in on
She
Sunday.
sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She's
She
got to
just
stick up her ass.
from from the second she starts here,
Her character is
she
not the most lovable.
sucks.
Yeah.
I She is everything I dislike. Not everything probably, but she's like a lot of the things I dislike about people.
Mhm. And that's exactly what she's supposed to be, and it's perfect, right? So,
She does great.
oh yeah, she's so stuck up, stick up her ass, right? So they decide they're gonna move in, right? Now, one of my favorite scenes here has got to be the moving scene when they're bringing in the, the match. And I don't
That
know if
was
it's Larry's bringing his. I don't know if it's his two buddies or guys, moving guys. It's the worst acting I've ever seen. And the two guys helping to move the mattress. Hey guys, let's take five. And the guy just got any beer? It's just like, what are you talking about, dude? But also before this, he gets a phone call from his daughter, from Kirsty, his daughter Kirsty. Okay, she's probably, I don't know, 19, 20, we would guess. She's probably
yeah.
not in high school though. So she
No,
says,
she's
"Hey,
like first year out of
yeah,
under or for secondary school.
yeah, I would say she's 19 or 20, would probably guess." So she might have actually been that age too. So she says how she's in town, she's looking for a place, she's trying to get a job, she'll come by and see them, right? So the stupid line with, hey, you got any beer? Like, I don't know where this comes from. It doesn't make any sense to the story. But then and it's like the one guy and like his crony who's just like, ugh, just like staring the whole time. And then Kirsty shows up at the house, and of course they're like ogling over her. And, oh, is that your daughter? Oh, well, she has her mother's look. Her mother's dead. It's like, what is this like random stupid scene anyway? It's got like nothing to do with it. And the guy's like, it's just corny, terrible acting.
It
Forget it.
really is bad. And like honestly,
It's
if you were in
why
that
is it
real
in the
situation,
film?
yeah, like it's I mean, I feel like it was just as a joke. The it's
It's just like I don't get it. Why is it in it anyway? But it's not like funny. It doesn't work. It
the
doesn't work.
the next part I think is the joke where you haven't
Um,
gotten yet, where the mattress is stuck on the stairs.
yeah.
And so then they're trying to push the mattress up the stairs. And at that point, Julia is envisioning her affair that she had with Frank, Larry's
Yep.
brother,
Yep.
dude who died in the beginning
Yep.
and was dragged to hell and split into a million pieces. She's like remembering that. And it's like every time Frank thrusts, the mattress is getting pushed up the stairs
Uh-huh.
at
Uh-huh.
Larry. And I feel like that's the
That
entire reason
good?
in that for that like punchline right
Yeah.
there.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, the flashback with like the silk and the fog effect, and it's raining. You get Matt, come inside, please. And yeah, it's just great. It's like a romance novel thing, right?
Oh my
It's
God.
it's really funny, right?
And he
So,
uses the knife to cut her strap on her
uh-huh.
negligee, and then they have sex on top of her long sleeve wedding dress.
Yes, they do.
That
Which is
would really wrinkle that, and it was satin or silk, so it definitely would have left some marks if there was,
they, they talk about that in the novel, in the short story.
oh,
So yeah, they talk about
oh
that.
God.
So yeah, so the mattress thing, that's great. That's great. I love that. And then they talk, and of course, then that's where they're dragging it, and Larry cuts his hand real bad on the nail, right on the wall, and he goes upstairs. She's lunching. She's out, like just totally out to lunch, like
She's sucks.
in this like dream world of sleeping with Frank and whatever they were doing. So essentially, if you haven't seen, she was cheated. This is like a week before they were supposed to get married to Larry or something like that, I guess,
But
right?
why was the wedding dress on the bed?
I don't know. I don't remember the symbolism for it. But he comes up and it's my hand is bleeding. I can't look at it. I can't look at blood. It's so gross. And
I'm
you
gonna
see these
faint.
drops of blood start landing on the floor, right, and everything. And they're in the room where all this happened. And she tells him, you're fine. You're not going to faint. Let's go to the hospital, get stitches, whatever. So essentially what happens is this blood falls onto the floor and it's going to bring Frank back to life. It's going to eventually revitalize him. Okay.
Oh, and that is something.
Yeah. So there's some really gnarly scenes with some effects where he comes back and like he comes out of the floor as like he looks like the Goldblum's character at the end of The Fly, doesn't he almost?
Yes.
Right? Yes,
Yes.
that's what he looks like. It's gross, but it's so cool. And he comes back from hell, and essentially what's going on is he needs this blood to. He's almost like a vampire. He needs the blood to feed on to come back to life, so he can nail what's her face for eternity now, I guess, and
Yeah.
back in real life again.
The other one of the cool things that I feel like I would have missed is like when the blood starts dropping, and it's a ton of blood. Like
Oh
it's the
yeah, I mean,
back of the hand, it's a lot of blood.
and these like close up scenes of these giant drops of blood and the
Yeah.
sound effects and everything is so good. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you see underneath the floorboards the
The heart.
lungs growing and the heart
It
and
reminds
like
you of like a telltale heart like that. Right,
exactly.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
And
Yeah.
this is the room, I guess, where they had sex, potentially. Also the room where he died.
Well, it's the room where he died. Exactly, right? So that's why he's still there. He's the force, the entity that's still there, right? So he's gonna come back and he starts to tell you, don't look at me, and all these lines. It reminded me of the "Don't look at me" from Dracula. But he needs
Funny you
people,
say that.
and this is almost like a I love Let Me In, the vampire movie. I love that movie because what happens is the daughter, she's the vampire, and the dad keeps bringing the victims back for her. And this kind of reminds me. So Julia starts going out and she starts bringing dudes back for him, right? Like in the middle of the day, just go get
Yeah,
dudes and bring them back, and
at the bar,
he'll
at the
bring them
hotel
back and
lobby bar, which I was
get him
like,
drunk.
hotel lobby, like I would be like, just come up to my room.
So one thing that they mention in the Hellbound Heart is they say hotel rooms are so informal. Why don't you come back to my house with me? Right. So I
Oh,
mean, it's not a bad line to say, honestly. It's
yeah.
whatever. I mean, so she brings him back, and of course she gets them upstairs, gets them half naked, and stabs them and starts to murder them. And he takes over and kills them and strips them, and uses feasts on them to
He
bring them.
flays them
Yeah, exactly. I like that word,
and
flays them.
he patches the skin together on his
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
body.
And so he's slowly coming back together, right? It's so gross. It's so
It's
gross.
so gross.
And
He's
it's
so
so
wet.
great. But it's
He's
so
so
great.
wet.
Yeah, it's so great. And of course, Kirsty's, in on this thing, and she starts to find out what's going on here. And she ends up getting, I think, as we move along, doesn't she get a hold of the box, I believe, at some point, right? And then
Yes.
she ends up in the house. Oh, there's a dinner party that they have like a housewarming party. Forgot about that part. And of course, Julia again is not very pleasant to be around. So I'm going to bed. I'm done with this. Whatever. She just wants Frank to come back. Okay, so that's the way it's going to be with her. Oh, and we have to discuss. Kirsty gets a job at a pet store
Oh yeah, that guy, the
because
demon.
can we please discuss the homeless guy, because this guy is, I don't like him. I'm very terrified of him. The only homeless person worse than him is a homeless person from Mulholland Drive, who I don't even want to think about, because now that we've talked about it, I will not be sleeping tonight because that person is the worst. You know what I'm talking about? The person from Mulholland Drive that lives behind the
No.
dumpster. Okay, all right. Well, anyone knows who I'm talking about. You're spared on that. Google it if you want, because there's a person that lives behind a dumpster in Mulholland Drive that is the most terrifying person I've ever seen in my entire life. So, but this guy is pretty damn scary. He's a homeless dude with the beard and the hat, and he like is peering at them like through like a door when Kirsty's walking with her boyfriend one night, and then he comes to the pet store, and he puts his hand in a jar full of bugs and starts eating
Crickets
them.
or
Crickets.
grasshoppers.
Crickets, yeah.
Grasshoppers.
Because you'll feed them to like a snake or something, or like a spider, and he eats them, and she's like, "Get out of here!" And it's like, what is going on with this dude?
Wait,
Ah,
there, okay, I can't spoil this show by telling you what I realized upon watching this today.
okay.
Or not today, but in the last 48 hours. Um, but there is something. We're coming back to this guy.
And we see him again later on, but yeah. So
Yes.
Kirsty gets a hold of the box, and she ends up, I think, opening it up. No, what happens to her? Because she ends up
She
walking down the street and she passes out and she ends up waking up in a hospital. And I'm now blanking on what happened.
So she goes to the hospital. She wakes up, and the nurse is sitting in there watching a flower timed exposure on the
Yes,
TV
time
unfold, a
lapse.
red like carnation
Yes,
unfolds on the TV screen. It's the weirdest, that would have been the weirdest thing to wake up to. It's silent.
right.
It's just that.
Like something you'd
Like,
see on like a Smithsonian thing or yeah, some weird, yeah, like
yeah, but
National Geographic or something.
the way it, yeah, and the way it is so freaking creepy. That would have sent me at that point. But then, she's like, "Where am I? I need to speak to my father." She, at this point, okay, hold on, we have to back up.
Yeah, yeah,
She had found, she followed Julia, who
right,
was taking that dude back. And then
right.
she went into the house. She broke into the house from a different door that Julia hadn't locked.
Oh, back door, right? Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
from the kitchen door, and then she goes upstairs to this third floor room where Frank is hanging out. Um, and Julia and Frank are murdering this dude and
Yep,
stripping him of his flesh.
yep.
And so she sees all of this. And so then she tries to escape, but Julia like freaks out and goes like kind of comatose-ish and backs out of the room and like locks her in ish. Because
Yes.
then she finds the box on the floor and she touches the box and it like zaps her with
Yeah, has
electricity.
yeah, yeah, right, right, right.
And then he's like, "Don't touch that." And she's like, "You want this? Fucking take it." And
Is that when he's
chucks it
yeah,
out
is
the
that when
window.
he's crawling toward her right in that scene, I think, right?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
his
yeah.
wet,
Yeah.
partially skinned body.
There is the scene in the play that plays in the short story is she Kirsty so Kirsty well we'll get to it I guess but she comes over to try to talk to Julia about what's going on with her and she basically tells her to get lost. That's kind of how that plays out differently to the movie. So
Got
but
it.
yeah, yeah. Then she ends up like passing out, right? And then she wakes up in the
Yeah, she
hospital.
cuts through two nuns for some reason. Who
Yeah,
walks through the middle of people that are walking together? I mean, the
yeah,
nuns weren't
right.
like spread out. And then she passes out, and three people like peer over her, and that's how she ends up in the waking up in the hospital. And then we
One
cut
person wearing a
to,
Yankees hat, by the way,
yes, which is,
which I don't care for, but that's okay.
yes, I don't either, but also interesting because of some of the trivia I have for later. Spoiler. So then the nurse is like, I'll get the doctor, I'll get the doctor, da 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 da. And so she goes to get the doctor, and the doctor comes in and he's like, the police are going to want to talk to you, which why that is not clear at all. That and it's
Mm,
never cleared up.
no.
So then he sets the box down on the table and says, "What is this?" I imagined the police would be called um, because the box was some sort of potentially stolen item. But instead,
Or a
the police are
bomb or
being
something.
called for something that we have no idea. And he says,
Right.
maybe this will jog your memory so that she does the puzzle box and opens her own little portal to hell. And I'll
She
let you
opens it,
pick it
yeah,
back up.
and then that's where yeah, thank you. That's where they show up the box. So you hit the box, we came right, and Pinhead shows up, and we meet the
You
Cenobites
forgot
finally.
about the scorpion thing.
Oh, the engineer.
Oh,
That's
yes.
the monster you're talking about. That's
Yes.
technically that's the engineer is what it's called, right?
Okay.
All right. So yeah, the Cenobites. You have the engineer. It's this big, nasty looking, like something from Tremors or something like that. It's this big, gross,
Exactly what it looks like. It has like a,
right.
a claw, like a cat claw as a scorpion
Yeah.
tail.
Yep.
Its face is on the bottom and it comes up this hallway that opens in the hospital
Yep.
that she goes into. I've never in a million years, I would never have gone in that hallway.
Yeah. The engineer shows up and it's a creepy looking. I think technically it was supposed to first be like a being you didn't see much of or something like that, but it ended up being this creature, I guess. And so yeah, that shows up, and then the Cenobites show up, and that's where you get to finally you meet Pinhead. You've all seen Pinhead. So this is the cool. I have the box here. It's signed by Doug Bradley, who played Pinhead in Monster Mania. It's awesome. I love it. Sadly, mine does not conjure up the Cenobites. Maybe that's good. Maybe that's a good thing.
I
Um,
feel like that's probably a good thing based on,
Probably
the tearing apart and
because
fleshlessness.
it's not like it's a really good thing that comes out of meeting them. It's pretty much a bad thing. So anyway, they
I
show up.
mean, technically, Frank does say that it could have been heaven.
Look, if you want to get like your body ripped apart by some dudes, I mean, cool. That's if that's your thing. As they say, you do you.
That's true.
So
That's true.
I'm just saying. So they show up and she's like, "No, this is sorry, whoops, my bad. I didn't mean to do this." And they're like, "Nope, you got to come with us now." Not no. And she's like, "Oh well, I know the guy who you really want. Would you want to come with me and I'll show him to you?" And they're like, "Well, yeah, if he admits to." He was the one that called us or whatever, tried to back out of this, whatever.
They
So
didn't believe he could have escaped.
right, right. So they end up
They were
going
like,
back.
not a chance, you crazy woman. We are
Right.
having none of this.
We ain't believing it. So they go back, and at this point now, we've kind of you see Larry again, and Larry doesn't look too good. He's kind of cut up around his face and his neck and stuff, and you find out that Larry's dead, and old Frank's wearing his face, wearing his skin, pretty much
Yeah,
doing some Ed Gein stuff, some Texas Chainsaw Massacre stuff here. So it's not good.
it's
Then
not
there's this
good.
little brawl that happens, and Frank ends up killing Julia, stabs her finally, and no one is sad
With
that
the
she
knife
dies
that he used to
with the
cut
knife.
her brassiere in the
That's right.
beginning.
No one's sad. No one's gonna miss her.
Yeah, but he also like turns her into a zombie, like
Well, he basically
mummy
takes her
thing.
life force out of her like instantly, and
Yeah,
basically, yeah, it takes like away all of her humanity,
yeah.
right? And so they get
Which
back
there
to,
was limited amounts of that to begin with,
yeah,
for
that
being
is
fair.
true. That is true. So we get back upstairs, back to where everything happens, and at this point, um, the we have our showdown again. And it comes back and she basically explains this is what happens. And of course, he's in the body of Larry, so we're seeing this through Larry's viewpoint. And once again, they come in and she gets him to say that I guess the name out loud or whatever. And they stage their thing and they grab him with the chains again and they start yanking him back. And he has that line that I know there's, and you probably have this in your trivia. I forget what the whole thing with this is, but he says this line, Jesus wept.
The
And
Pinhead does.
yeah. So no, Frank says it right before he dies. I'm
Pinhead
pretty
says
sure.
it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll look at it. So,
Hold on.
and
I have it in my trivia. I will confirm, but
I
keep going.
was pretty sure it was Frank slash Larry, but they kill him, of course. And at this point, Kirsty's got to get the heck up on out of the house, and she ends up running with her boyfriend. She ends up running to the engineer again, the big giant monster, trying to get out of the house. The house is collapsing, falling down on them. And she's trying to get the box back, and she's fighting for the box and fighting for it and fighting
Oh,
for it.
wait, we missed something. Hold
What's that?
on.
What did we forget?
Sorry. Every time she solves part of the puzzle box,
Yep.
one of the oh my God,
Oh,
my
one of the Cenobites shows up, right?
disappears.
Okay, because remember the one shows up at the stairs and starts running her claw across the wall. The wall starts bleeding, right? The female
Yes.
Cenobite, right? Yeah.
Who has no name. Feels unfair.
We have the Chatterer, we have the Butterball, we have Pinhead, and we have the female, the woman Cenobite, right? Those are
And
their
the
names.
engineer.
And the
I
engineer,
don't,
yes, yes. So
but the
those are the
engineer
names.
might be a demon?
Yeah, I may have his name wrong. It's name wrong. I think is really what I'm saying.
No, I think you have it right because it's in my trivia, but there's a they differentiate between demons and
So
Cenobites.
what is one of the big things too, right? Is the thing about these folks is what is the line? Demons to some, angels to others, right?
Hmm.
That's the big line. That the whole
Yes.
thing. Where because this whole thing is, well, let's recap it. Like, let's finish that first. Is
Yes, sorry.
right. So she runs into them, and they try to double cross her essentially, and bring her. They try to bring her with them, of course, too. And she's trying to get the box back from the monster, and she finally gets it, and she's pushing the hinges and closing it and solving the box and everything, and finally, it works. And they get out. She and her boyfriend get out, and then we run into. she's walking down the street and they go to this funeral pyre or whatever's going on. This reminds me of the end of Candyman, which is a Barker thing too. And they
Oh, is
throw
it really?
yeah, well, I'll get to that. There's a fire going, and they throw the puzzle box into the fire. Who shows up but the freaking crazy homeless guy again? And he reaches into the fire, and his entire body catches on fire to get the box. And he turns into a giant winged like, griffin dragon and flies away.
Skinless.
And I'm
And
just like, what is happening here?
then we see him take the box,
Yeah.
do that market again, and he's the dude that was having drinks with the disgusting fingernails
And
from
that's
the
it.
beginning.
And we do it all over again, and we're back to the market, right? Again. Yep. And what's your pleasure? The guy tells him, right? And that's it. And that's it. And that's a wrap. So this is it's just really kind of just simple. The plot is hardly, hardly all over the place. It works. So I like Clive Barker again. Clive Barker Books of Blood, The Hellbound Heart, right? It's a really cool story, and I think it's done very well. I don't think they made this movie for very much money. I think it was like $1 million or something like that.
It was a
Clive,
million dollars. It grossed 20 million.
Clive Barker admitted he didn't know anything, literally knew nothing about making a movie.
Nothing. He didn't know the difference between the
No,
lenses. Like
no. Which
I
which
would
to, which to me is quite frankly very very frightening. Honestly, I'm like if I'm involved if I'm someone writing a check at this point, I am thinking about putting my checkbook away because I don't know that I'm doing this at that point.
I
I
guess
I
like
get
do
that
the
no one knows everything, but if you're telling me you don't know length, seriously, dude, like you're supposed to be the director. You got to be
in
kidding me
that
right now.
small space, like there's no way you could have more than a 35 millimeter, and we'll get into the set and
Yeah,
stuff, but
yeah, yeah.
you would never be able to have more than a 35 millimeter in some of these angles. That's
No.
why the shots are the way that they are.
Yep.
But
24, 35 is probably it.
how much do you have to trust your cameraman then to still write the check?
Well, that's the thing, right? That's again, just like anyone, plenty of people are qualified for lots of jobs. They may meet 6 out of the 10 requirements. That's probably good enough, right? But it sounded like he had about one of the requirements. He
Just
had
the writing.
he had the story. That was it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Like
did he
that's not
have a
enough, dude.
storyboard? Like I have so many questions for him.
Here's the thing. It's like a Tarantino situation too, where the dude worked in a video store. He loved movies, right? But well, it sure worked out, didn't it, for both of them? Things
But
worked out pretty
he
well.
didn't he do theater?
He may have, but I also feel like he knew more than Clive Barker did making a movie. So,
Oh no,
but
I mean Clive Barker, I think did
oh
the
no no yeah he did lots of theater. Yes 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 yes.
yeah.
But it's still different. There is a difference, right?
Oh,
So
for sure. I mean, that's why you wouldn't know the lenses and
you're
things that you
going
would
on
understand.
stage, your audience is in front of you. It's not behind.
Yeah, and
Oh,
I mean, it's you have to act to the back of the room versus acting to the
right.
person who is sitting across from you.
That's right. You're not putting this on a medium that needs to look a certain way. So
Yeah.
that part would bother me. But he's an artistic, very incredibly creative, really, really talented guy. Like really, really talented guy. So obviously it worked out very well. Things have gone well for him in his career. So I guess it worked out pretty well. Um, I really like the I like where we are in this movie. Like I said, it's this place that I don't like, but you know what I mean? But I like that because
Yeah.
this house is spooky, right?
Oh, it's spooky. It's fucking huge. Sorry, man. I try not to curse on your podcast,
You
but
can
I've
curse
already
all
done
you
it
you can
twice.
curse all you want. So
Uh,
this place is spooky, right?
it's
This house?
huge. It's so creepy. There's
Yeah.
something about the angles,
Yeah.
like
The wooden doors and just
the hard angles on the
yeah.
stairs. And they have a bunch of like landings.
It's so dark. Yeah.
It's
Like
a
this
real
it's
house.
this like claustrophobic just of this one area just of the staircases where like the whole damn movie takes place basically, right?
Yes. And
Yes.
this again is a real house. Like this was not a set. This was a
And they
real
show
house
the
in London.
outdoor of the house. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It has a really interesting name in the story. There's the street. It's like a Russian name. It's hard. I can't pronounce it. I can't pronounce it, but I don't even remember it. But yeah, like all the pivotal scenes happen in this one space. Like him cutting his hand, him killing her on the stairs. Like all it happens there and the nasty kitchen, but like it's all very in this place and I don't like this house. That's great though, right? Like it's really
Yeah.
good.
It feels
Yeah.
claustrophobic. It
Yeah.
feels very angular. I I don't think it was
The
on,
stained glass.
yeah, I don't think it was on purpose, but it
No, it
like,
works. It totally
yeah.
works.
I'll find my trivia on
It's
this just
definitely like
because,
something that I feel like if I would walk down a street in London, I would see this how it's what I would expect it to look like inside. That's what I would think, right?
yeah,
I really would think it would look like that.
it was
So
like,
that
yeah,
creeped me out. And then so I love so shout out to our man Sean Clark, Horror's Hallowed Grounds. He did a great episode where he went to London and did a episode on all the places where they shot this. Really cool to see where remember when Kirsty's walking down by the water and those big giant like poles and those where she down in the industrial area. So those poles and stuff were all there, but the whole area has changed. Like none of those walkways and the storefronts and stuff were all gone. But yeah, I think the house is there. The scene where the fence where she passes out is there. A lot of cool stuff that he was in his
interesting.
episode for that. So if you want to go see this stuff, it's in England. And of course, they tried to make this more of like, I guess it's supposed to happen in the States, I believe.
Yeah,
But
so they
but
actually like
is that why
reset
the
it.
guy wears the Yankees hat? Is that why that's in there? So I don't know.
It
But
is, yeah.
because no one really, there are no accents, and that's I think the overdubbing stuff comes into play with the terrible acting from the moving guys. Probably is
They
what they're
dubbed
because it's like
everything.
I love to watch bad Italian horror films that have the worst dubbing ever. So this is kind of like it's not even close, obviously, but it has that aspect to it. But it is. I know Kim Newman, who's a great reviewer, horror movie guy, talked about one of the best British horror movies ever is Hellraiser. Maybe I think that's a fair thing to say. I don't think it's wrong to say that. I think it's well done. I think it's dark. I think it's I love like I I love the very beginning and ending scene with being in being in that market, and it reminds me of like the monkey's paw or something like that. Like here's this box that can do,
Yes.
right that can do this stuff that has the power. Like what could you find in this crazy place, right? Like what if you went to this market and this thing was there and this box that and then you look at like the whole thing of the story could have gone so much deeper into the actual sadomasoch and all the stuff happening here, right? And honestly, it was pretty clean in a way.
It
You could have
was.
you could have seen some real bondage and some real torture and some real you know, whips and chains and some serious shit going on. I would have been fine with it, but they didn't really get into that. But you
I
could
think
see
it's
where
a difference of time. Like the
it was gonna go,
female
right?
Cenobite was supposed to be named Deep Throat, and
Ah,
they
okay,
actually had to change that and remove it.
okay.
She has an opening in her throat, so it was,
But and that's the whole thing is this guy Frank he's he can't get enough, and this was his opening this box was his way to get pleasure that he couldn't possibly get on Earth. But at the same time, is it pain or pleasure, right? From pain comes pleasure. Some people like this kind of stuff, and God only knows what they would have done to him in hell and things. You never really see these things, but it's kind of then your imagination gets to play and it gets to run around with it and it gets to make up, which is scarier sometimes than what really happens.
yeah.
So this is a unique film. I mean, I can't think of anything I've ever seen that kind of really talks about this stuff, and really, this is really it's good. There are like a zillion sequels. I've seen part two and I think part three, and I think that was it for me. There's like, and you've seen the remake, or reimagining, whatever, 2022. I have
Yeah.
not seen that. You can talk about that if you want, but overall, Roger Ebert gave this movie half a star. By the way, um,
Half a star?
half a star. Yeah, he was not a fan. I think
Was
because of
it
its
the effects at the end?
he just said it was hollow. It had no story really. I mean,
Um,
I I think on the idea alone of it is enough right there to a win for me. I've been a fan of it for a long time. Like I said, I've got the box signed by Pinhead. I've read his stuff. I've got an 11 by 17 picture framed from signed by Ashley Lawrence, who played Kirsty. I met her once too. I think it's a great movie. I love the music a lot too. It's very simple, right? But it's really very kind of spooky, well done. I think it's a good production. I really do.
I don't know where I read this because it's not in my trivia, but I think the you know the sound I've brought up a bunch of times. I think specifically in A Quiet Place, our episode.
Well, the
Uh,
bells toll in this movie a lot, like stuff like that.
yes.
Yeah.
You know the boom
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
sound?
Yeah.
I want to say this
Uh,
is credited as being one of the first movies that
it
included
might be. It might be.
that.
I like that.
If not the first, it has that, like, it's not the same sound that we hear in all of the horror movies now, but it's like early, like it's an iteration of it. So
So they talk in the I should we should talk about Hellbound Heart right now just because I've been mentioned like 10 times. That's the original story. And the story is essentially the same. Kirsty is not Larry's daughter. Kirsty is a friend of Larry. Larry's character is Rory, by the way, also.
yes, I did
Jul
read that.
Julia's the same. Frank's the same. It's the same deal. He goes to hell. He meets up with her. They kill people for him to come back to life. All that stuff is still the same. A little bit different, a little more descriptive, but the tolling of the bells happens a lot. And they kind of talk more about the beginning of when he's in the room with the box itself. Um, so those things are different, but it's essentially the same story. But yeah, the bells tolling, the chiming thing, that's kind of what you're talking about. They talk about that in the book, so I think I like that. They bring that into the movie too.
Interesting. Okay. So I looked up well, hold on.
Oh, and they call the Lamarchand configuration or something, the Lamarchand
Oh,
configuration.
yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, I could see that because I
Yeah.
think they've referenced that very briefly because I thought the box had a name, but I didn't catch it. And so I figured,
Lament configuration is what it's called or something. Isn't that part of it too, or something? One of the names?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
want to say it's something like that. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
seems very
Le
familiar.
Marchand.
Although it's possible that was from the 2022 one, and I am thinking of that.
Well, the Le Marchand I know is from the story, so.
Yes, but they may have actually
Oh,
mentioned
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
in
Okay.
that one versus in the original Hellraiser. So stupidly, they named the 2022 the same thing. I hate when they do that. They did this with The Thing. I have now twice started a movie that I thought was going to be a movie for this podcast and had to then figure out where I went wrong.
Tell them about my panic from a few hours before we recorded this.
Oh,
That
yes.
yeah.
So
So
I happened to mention to Matt that Disney Plus was where I could find streaming of Hellraiser, and Matt freaked out and was
well, I
like,
did not tell the next day. I did not tell today. I mean, later when I realized, I was like, wait a minute, hold on, this doesn't make any sense. Why the hell would
yeah,
this movie be on
I
Disney
did catch
Plus?
myself. I mean, I did catch myself, but it meant that I watched them both.
Good for you. You've seen more than I have, so yeah.
Yes. So Matt was like, "Oh my God, did you watch the remake?" Because I was like joking about why it was on Disney Plus and whatever. And yes. Okay. So here's my kind of high level review of it. There were some really cool aspects that well, and there were some big differences. So one of the big differences is the box had a little knife in it that came out and stabbed people, and those were the people it took
I
to hell
think I heard about that. Yeah. Okay.
versus
Still
whoever
alive.
solved the box. And the box would stay in a position until the next person tried to solve it, and then it would stab that person. There was a recruiter of people to open the box and transition the box to the next part. So he ended up making a deal with them so he would recruit people to use the box. And then they like basically they took his nerves and put them through like a wheeled machine that they stuck through the middle of his body, which was
Hmm.
very graphic and stressful for me personally.
Whew.
As having a nerve injury, it was like
Some
a
medieval
nightmare.
torture, yeah.
Yeah, it was really like awful for me. But the one of the cool things is it's shot in sort of like a Wes Anderson way.
Interesting. There's some neon colors or something like that.
It's like the
Doesn't he do this
super,
that weird color palette?
yeah,
Isn't he known for that?
it's like the super saturated blue, like the peacock
Yeah,
blue.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
Um,
oranges and
yeah, and then like
right.
gold accents, but the house itself is like the box.
Okay.
So when someone changes the box, the house changes. and does like different things. There's like a big skylight at the top and yeah, so it was interesting.
Okay.
It was it, it is for someone. It was not for me.
Yeah.
Um I don't think it was a bad movie. We talked about this earlier. I don't think it's a bad movie.
You just didn't like it.
It just it was it pushed all of my trigger points. But interestingly, the lead has the same haircut as Julia.
Who plays that? Who's in this?
Oh God, you're
I don't
asking
even
the wrong person.
I don't
They
even
are
know.
all like B-list people,
And
I
Pinhead
want to say.
is a female character now,
Pinhead is a
correct?
female character, yes.
Does that make any difference?
No, because they're all sort of androgynous,
Well, I
right?
was
Like,
gonna say, but I know from watch because I mean you know the character of Pinhead. He's a guy with does that change your does it
yeah, see,
matter?
that
Like
was my first clue I was watching the wrong movie.
because Pinhead well that's a good point. Because Pinhead really like the name itself is like more like a name, the crew and that we came up with. Like he's not really called like Pinhead. Like they're just,
No, I'm
what's he
certain.
call it? Call like the evil priest or something is another name for him. They can't I forget. But
Oh, yes, he does have a name. And it is something priest. Hold on.
I don't remember if the short story names him
Um
or just calls him priest, maybe? I don't remember. I just yeah, I'm not sure.
I swear this is in my trivia.
Because
Okay.
like the Butterball stuff and all them, those are the names of the ones in the movies, not the books.
He's just named priest.
Priest, it is priest. Okay. All right.
And so the reason that he's named priest is because they are the Order of the Gash, which is a
The
cult.
Cenobite is like it is like a religious sect or order or something, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yes. Yes, it
The
is.
Order
Okay.
of the Gash, I
Yeah.
think, which
Yeah, that's
is,
right.
of course, the vagine.
Yep. Yeah. I like that. That was good.
Oh God, super embarrassing story. I said we were in France and I said vagine because that's just what I generally say. And I didn't think it through. And
Vagine.
everyone turned and looked at me because it's literally like if you were walking down the street
Yep.
and you
The
said vagina
vagine.
here.
The vagine.
Oh, so embarrassing. I'm
I
glad that
love
we've
it.
shared this with your listeners
Oh,
now.
they love it. This
I'm
is what
like,
this is what they come to listen to.
I'm turning red.
Talk about vagines and other hilarious S&M topics from Hellraiser. That's what they're here for.
I cannot believe that this movie was made in 87. Like, I just can't believe that people were willing to do this. I
But again, I don't think it still really shows what it really could show. It's really fairly tame in a way. I think
It
it's
really is.
it's gory and it's graphic, but it's more focused on Frank coming back to life and him just looking gross. Like it's more special effects than it is like okay, the Cenobites are dressed in like stuff you'd see in the back of like a Spencer's or something like that, right? They're dressed like that with the leather and the studs and all that.
Yeah.
It's like 8 millimeter. Did you ever see 8 millimeter? By the way, oh, we got to review 8 millimeter. That movie's badass. Anyway,
No, I have not
oh
seen
my
that.
god. So anyway, that's fine. Another time. But yeah, they're dressed like that stuff. Like you could really show the bondage and like the submission stuff, and they never get into that. So it could be so much more. It could be so much more.
It definitely could be. And
Oh
they
yeah.
didn't do that in the
No.
updated version either.
No. So
Um,
you could go pretty
I just,
deep.
I can't believe during like Satanic Panic and
Oh, I
like
know, right? And they had a great time for it. It's perfect.
it
It's
just
perfect.
they really they got away with it, I think,
Yeah, they
is
did.
is the way I would describe it
Like I
because
said, it's just such an original idea. I think it's just such a great idea.
it really is.
Yeah.
It's really well done as much as the effects are like I mean,
I
it's
think they're pretty good.
I have tr facts on them
I think they're
and
pretty
Clive
good.
Barker's thoughts on them for the 80s. They are very good.
Who did the makeup and the effects for this? I don't know.
Ooh, I have that information and it is kind of unsatisfying.
It's not like a Rick Baker or something, right? It's nothing like that. It's nothing.
Um, okay, so makeup wise, we've got, hold on.
Their budget was not very big, so
No, it's very small. Okay, so makeup wise, we have Bob Keane, Jeffrey Portis. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And Jane Wildgoose was the costume designer.
Okay, I'm not familiar with them. Did they say who does effects or anything?
No, I didn't pull that.
Like that shot we talked about when he comes out of the floor and he comes, that's awesome. That's a great shot. And he looked when he's like all brown still kind of and he's like coming back to life. Those are good.
That is,
Those
I
are
mean,
good.
that's you can tell. I mean, now
Yeah.
knowing what we know, you can tell it's shot in reverse. Um,
Right.
but it's so good. Like it just the contortion and so one of my facts is they had to use a truckload of lube to keep all the stuff wet. It's all
Gotta
lube
stay wet, baby.
and it's condoms. They had to use condoms for the goo,
This show is great. We're talking about everything. I love it.
which just
Condoms, vagines. We gotta lube it up. We gotta lube this show up. Let's go. I'm trying to keep this show wet.
it feels so on brand for this movie that they had to use a ton of lube and
Bring in
condoms.
more condoms. We need more condoms, people. More.
The crew said they were so embarrassed because they'd
I
have
love
to go
it.
to like the drugstore and they would buy the whole store
Go
out
to
of like
CVS. We'll need all
all
of your
the
condoms. And by the way,
all of the lube.
all you gotta do though, if they didn't feel bad, you just buy all their beer at the same time, and then no one will ask any questions.
No, they said it looked like they were buying an orgy's
Yeah,
worth of lube and
that's what I'm
condoms
saying.
whenever
Right.
they went in.
So you buy all the condom, somebody else buys all the beer, and then no one asks any questions because I see, I got it. All right.
Oh
Um,
my
that's amazing. So in part two, I think it's part two when what's her name? I've now blanked on. Julia comes back. She comes back as from the dead, and she's like all her skin's gone, but she's like this being that walks around, and she's just exposed. And then make it's awesome. It looks really cool.
God.
Yeah,
Ugh, they
I think
must
it's
have needed a lot of lube.
lots of lube, baby. I think it's part two. Could be part three, but yeah, she walks around like totally unskinned, and it's yeah, it's cool.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Oh God.
All right,
Uh,
trivia. What do you got?
all right.
Lube us
So,
up. Lube us up. Let's go.
all right. So Doug Bradley, your bestie,
Pinhead.
described hell as a prison. The Cenobites are the prison guards. Pinhead is the warden.
Okay,
And
yeah.
the puzzle box is the key to the prison cell.
Okay.
And the demons are escaped inmates.
I like it. Quite a structure. See,
I was,
even hell's got to have like got to have an org chart. It's got to have a
yeah,
structure, right?
yeah.
Come
I
on
mean,
now.
that's how it works. Like
That's how it
you can't
works.
just run it willy-nilly.
Nope. You got to have your CEOs and everything. Come on now.
The Chatterer and Butterball, you probably already know this, had dialogued in the original script. However, their makeup made coherent speech absolutely impossible. So
I
their
would
lines were
imagine,
given
yeah.
to the female Cenobite, who is also known as Deep Throat,
Deep throat.
and Pinhead, which helped cement Doug Bradley's reputation as the film's trademark character.
He is. He is.
Yes.
Yep. He's in like
According,
six of the movies too, but
is he in
I
all of
think
them?
no, he's in like six of them. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, not
Okay.
all of them.
That's a lot
It's
though,
a lot. It's a lot. Hey,
especially depending on how, I mean, that makeup.
I was gonna say I'm not down with that, but hey, he loves it, so
Oh
more
my
power to
God.
him. He's a great guy.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he really enjoyed it
I
because
believe so.
sitting through that makeup would be a lot of work.
That would be hell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it brings to mind Jim Carrey and The Grinch.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
When I
Any time you got to sit for 3 to 4 hours and that stuff is a day.
We'll
Oh
get to some of this, but yeah,
goodness
the
gracious.
some of it's crazy. Okay, so according to Clive Barker, as the writing of Hellraiser took place during the height of A Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Halloween,
Sounds right.
his intended portrayal of Pinhead as an articulate and intelligent character was not well received by the producers.
Mm,
And they suggested that he act more like Freddy Krueger and crack jokes. And
no.
others suggested he be a silent character like Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers. Barker insisted Pinhead's personality be more evocative of Christopher Lee's portrayal of Dracula, which is why I was so glad when you said that. It
Oh,
must have landed for you.
okay.
I already knew this when I watched, so I'm not unbiased.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this is quotes from Clive Barker moving forward. Part of the chill of Dracula surely lies in the fact that he is very clearly and articulately aware of what he is doing and making you feel that he is penetrating and doing to you. And you can feel that he is penetrating intelligence. I shouldn't have said it was a quote because now I'm messing it up. And I don't
Penetrating.
and I don't find terribly or dumb things terribly scary. I find intelligence scary, particularly twisted intelligence. It's one of the reasons why Lecter is scary, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's
Yeah.
because you feel like he's going to be three jumps ahead of you.
Ooh, I like that's right on, I think. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Pinhead's a scary dude, but he's also, not in the sense he's gonna come up and, rip you up like, Michael Myers is or Jason's gonna, an axe in your face, but he's gonna make you suffer, boy. And you're
Yeah.
gonna, yeah, you're gonna,
It's not indiscriminate, it's very targeted, and I think
yeah,
that's what makes this really scary because you can
yep,
tell everyone is tortured differently
yep.
in this hell, even though we only are experiencing it through Frank, or at least
Mm-hmm.
in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Many viewers commented on the poor quality of the effects at the end of the
Oh, see.
movie.
Oh, okay.
Um,
All right. So I will agree with that. That, the engineer, whatever, lizard at the end, it's lame. Okay. That is pretty, it's not great. The other
I
stuff
think
I
it's
think is
also
very good.
the light effects of like when the Cenobites are disappearing, they have like lights
Oh
that
yeah, 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 yeah. There's some parts that are not great. I agree.
Okay, so Clive Barker explained, due to a very limited budget, there was
There
no
you
money
go.
left to
Yeah,
have the
exactly.
FX done professionally after primary filming. So instead, Barker and quote unquote a Greek guy animated
Ah.
the scenes by hand over a single weekend.
Uh,
And Barker has
yeah.
commented he thinks the FX turned out really well considering the amount of alcohol the two consumed that weekend.
Okay. There you go. You know what? Uh, Sometimes you know what it's like. Okay. Did you watch It, the miniseries? The
No, I
original
did not.
back in the 80s?
Oh,
Okay.
yes, I did. I did.
Do you remember the spider at the end?
Yes.
Remember? And you're like, this is what I'm getting, really?
It's like
This?
womp, womp, womp.
Exactly. That's kind of yeah.
But I didn't really feel that because it doesn't end on the womp, womp, womp. The engineer like is super gross and creepy. And that is really
It's not
the,
the end because then they have this shot with the homeless guy, whatever. Yeah, but I
yeah.
mean that part is there is something to be desired from it. Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah. But I mean, I think the Cenobites disappearing. Also, it doesn't really, I guess for me, I was like, if I didn't know there were sequels, I would think she killed them.
Mm,
I didn't realize she was like disappearing them
right.
back to where they came from. But I did know there were sequels, so I was like, okay, well, Pinhead comes back, so clearly she's just sending them back. But
Back to hell. That's right.
yeah. Claire Higgins, who plays,
Julia.
hates horror movies, and when she saw this movie for the first time at the premiere, she had to leave after 10 minutes because it freaked her out so much, and she has never seen the movie.
So her character sucks and she kind of sucks. Yeah. I'm sorry if you listen to this episode. I'm no personal on that, but okay.
It took 6 hours to apply the
The
prosthetic.
pinheads, yeah,
Yeah,
every day, right?
6 hours.
Yeah, for like probably a month or two shoot. So yeah,
I would
uh,
have to
that's
have
how
like some sort of, I mean,
that's
for
how it
me,
goes.
it would be an audiobook or something, probably, or therapy. I'd have to have like some sort of like,
Just sitting like I mean, even if we just sat here and talked for 6 hours, like I can't do one
oh
thing
my
for
God.
6 hours.
Yeah, your next posture is your best posture if you're
Yeah.
taking care of your back.
Oh, that's a whole, I don't know. But that's what you got to do for this stuff to happen. Yep.
The studio had planned on casting stuntmen as the Cenobites to save on production costs, but Clive Barker insisted on hiring actors because he reasoned that even if the characters did not speak and appeared under heavy makeup, their body language still conveys a personality,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
I
Well,
agree with.
I mean, look at Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees. They don't talk, so it's all body language, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's huge.
I think that was absolutely correct.
Yeah, that's big.
Um,
That's very
and
important.
in line with that, during rehearsals, Clive Barker told Doug Bradley, who had at the time been working in theater for a really long time, that he had to subdue his movements and gestures in order to give Pinhead an aura of complete control.
Okay, I like
Could
that.
see that totally.
Yeah, that's good.
That's how I kind of got down the rabbit hole of the theater. The scene where Frank is being spun upside down, covered in blood,
Hmm.
that scene.
Love it.
So I think it's like at 4 minutes in, it's like the first horror moment of the thing after he
Love
gets the
it.
box and he opens it and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, that was a camera test and the very first thing they shot of the film. And afterward, this is so on brand, Sean Chapman, who plays Frank,
Wait, Frank.
couldn't stop vomiting.
Wow. Okay. Hopefully that didn't last for ever and ever, but okay. Yeah, I believe that.
In his DVD commentary, Clive Barker explained that the movie was filmed in an actual house. This is what I was talking about, which forced him to be really creative with the cinematography.
Mm.
There was often only room for a single camera, and that explains why so many shots are only from one angle, which is what one of the things that I think makes us really uncomfortable and feel claustrophobic
Hmm.
when watching this. Um, in particular, the vertical movement was often the only movement available to camera operators, which explains why there are so many overhead and zoom
Yeah.
shots.
Okay.
And only one room in the house, the attic, was shot on a sound stage, and only the effects were used on the attic set.
Interesting. Okay, makes sense.
That would have been a teeny, teeny, tiny space. Like,
Yeah, it's tough when you got, boom operators and, you need your crew in there. Yeah, that's tough to work with.
can you imagine how hot it was? And most
Probably.
homes in London do not have air
And
conditioning.
it depends what time of year it was, I guess. So yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
No, I'm sure there were
you got
probably
the lights,
challenges for sure. Oh yeah.
all the people. It would have been like humid in there from the bodies.
Yep.
Um, So the film was originally set in England, which is
Hmm.
why there are so many obviously London locations. But the
Hmm.
studio, New World, thought the film would be more marketable if it was set in America.
Hmm. Right.
And that is why they dubbed the English actors, including Sean Chapman and Olivia Parker. So they dubbed them with American people. I'm
Yep. Yep.
honestly surprised they didn't just have them do an American accent.
I don't know. It's much more fun to see the terrible dubbing. Come on now. We love that.
I
Like the
mean,
Italian
I didn't
horror
think it was
movies.
terrible.
Well,
Um,
it's there's some moments that aren't great, but yeah. Yep, when it
yeah,
works.
yeah. Originally, the opening sequence featured Butterball reassembling Frank's mutilated face on the attic floor, and it was using actual eyes and a tongue and pulped flesh from a butcher shop. I'm guessing
Wow.
pig.
Probably.
Um, Once the decision was made to emphasize Pinhead in press material, and after Clive Barker decided he didn't like the special effects. Um, Doug Bradley was brought back, and a new scene was shot featuring Pinhead assembling the prosthetic face. But the actor who played Butterball didn't know that. So
Mm.
for years and years and years, he would tell people at like the cons when he was interviewed that it was him assembling a real face,
Really?
which is kind of a bummer because
Yeah.
nobody likes the accidental lies
No, they
when you're
don't.
trying to be honest.
No.
But he didn't find out until he saw an interview with Clive Barker.
Really? Okay.
Yes, like nobody ever told him. And I guess maybe, I mean, how much do you really watch your own work? You know, you're not gonna like
No, and if you do, sometimes you critique the hell out of it, and yeah, some people they don't even watch the stuff. It's true.
clearly Julia didn't watch it.
Yeah, and never again will, I guess.
I can't blame her. If you are afraid of horror movies, then
Fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
I can't blame you for that. Clive Barker drew inspiration for the Cenobite designs from punk fashion,
Mm-hmm.
Catholicism,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and visits he took to S&M clubs in New
Yep.
York and Amsterdam.
Yep. Yeah, he got all those from yeah. I mean the leather and the spikes and the studs and everything. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it
Yeah,
works. It's great.
totally
The
works.
outfits that Pinhead has, that outfit is crazy, right? It's like he's like Rob Halford from Judas Priest or something. It's like yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he reminds me of, right?
Yep, totally.
Yep.
So the female Cenobite was inspired by scarification and body piercing from National Geographic articles that he read. And
Mm.
the makeup took 3 hours to apply, caused great discomfort, and prevented Grace Kirby from sitting. So she had to
I,
stand the entire day.
Whew, yeah. Well, that's how you know what you're getting into with that. That's how that goes.
Any of those makeup looks, man, it's just
Yeah.
you have to go into it with eyes open
Yeah.
and really thinking about how difficult that's going to be on you mentally. Because I mean, that would be.
Yep. Yep.
Um, After securing funding for a motion picture adaptation in 1986, Clive Barker and his producer Christopher Figg assembled a team to design the Cenobites. Among the team were Bob Keane, Jeffrey Portis, at Image Animation, and Jane Wildgoose, a costume designer who was requested to make a series of 4 to 5 super butchers while refining these scarification designs with image animation. So this comes from her, and this is a quote. My notes say that he wanted one, areas of revealed flesh that were some kind where some kind of torture has or is currently occurring.
Mm.
Two, something associated with butchery involved. And then here we have a very Clive turn of phrase I've written down, repulsive glamour.
Repulsive glamour. Okay. New
And the
word. I'm gonna
other
start
notes I
using that.
made are about what he wanted was that they should be magnificent super butchers. There would be one or two of them with some hangers on, as he put it, which is, you know, the like in the female Cenobite, she's got the metal pieces pulling
Yes.
apart her throat and her
Right, right.
face. That's the hangers on. And then the pins, I'm guessing also.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that there would be 4 or 5 of them altogether.
Okay.
And my last fact to leave you with, my last trivia is Andrew Robinson convinced Clive Barker to replace the scripted line of "fuck you" with the line that was actually shot, "Jesus wept."
I like it better.
I do too.
I
It
like it.
changes everything.
It was it's good. It's unique. It's something you don't hear in a movie very often, so I think that was
Yeah.
pretty good. Well, I think we've, you know what? And we told everybody all about this movie, so I'm going to just make a quick plug. I've already said it. Books of Blood, not that Clive Barker needs a plug for his book, but I'll do it anyway. Check it out. It's really good because it has, let's see, there's some really good ones. I'm going to quickly just look at a few that are in here that I really like. This one does not have the Hellbound Heart, I will mention there, though. That's a separate, but you should also, I forget where this is laid here. So Midnight Meat Train. I don't know if anybody ever saw that. You ever seen the Midnight Meat Train?
No.
That's a good movie about a subway butcher. That is in here. Um, what else? There's a few other ones. There's a really good one about, oh gosh, I can't remember the title of it, where the guy's in his own mind and he's trying to get out of like an apartment or something like that. I forget the title of it. He wrote Rawhead Rex. That's in there. That's really good too. And of course, Clive Barker. You guys like Candyman. Don't forget that is a story by him. The Forbidden is the story. The original story is called The Forbidden, and that's what Candyman is based on. Okay, So go read his stuff. I think it's tremendous. I love it. Stephen King's, always said he's the next big thing. He's said it 30 years ago, but his stuff has been really good. I haven't read everything, but I've read a lot of those books. He's got a background in theater, like you said. I think he was like an escort, quote unquote, for at one point. So he kind of has like an insight into this world. So he kind of knows what he's writing. I think his stuff is great. So I say go check it out if you get a chance to. His stuff is really cool. So great movie. Lots of sequels. Don't care for them. Don't really care about them. But go watch 1987 Hellraiser. I think we all can agree that it's a hit. So, all right, Sarah, that was excellent. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank
Where
you.
where does everyone go and find all of the great things that you do where you're not talking about S&M and vagines and um, cleaning stores out for condoms?
And lube and orgies worth of
We got
lube.
lubed up on this show, y'all. You loved it, and you all loved it.
Oh God. That is not my normal content, everyone, so don't expect to find it there.
Now
But
no one's gonna watch you, but that's okay.
yeah, that's okay. I mean, I'm okay with it because where I'm gonna plug is what? The wedding dish.
Mm. There's a wedding
Probably
dress. There's a wedding dress in this movie, right? So there you
that's
go.
true.
There
That's
you go.
that's true. Yeah, you can find my podcast, The Wedding Dish. I also do have a trivia podcast that we are on pause for right now, but it is Laughing with Gingers. So if you like my trivia, you can find more of it there. Just, gonna be a couple weeks old.
They've been on this quality program a few times.
Yes, we
Yeah.
have.
Yes, they have. Well, you guys know the deal. You know where to find us. Go to Instagram at the Scary Movie Project. There's some Facebooks once in a while. The Facebook. Email us. Do you want to talk about all the Hellraiser sequels or more of the awful things that could have happened when they went to hell? I don't know. The Scary Movie Project at gmail.com. Go to YouTube, watch the YouTube episodes, like, subscribe, love us, all that great stuff. Go read The Books of Blood by Clive Barker. Go and get the box. And you can have Doug Bradley sign it because he comes to Monster Mania all the time. If you ever get one of these boxes, don't invite me over. I don't want to be around when you open up the Lament configuration. I don't want to play with that. So we both agree that we don't want any part of that. But other than that, that's going to do it for us. And until next time, remember, sweets for the sweet.
The Scary Movie Project podcast. Learn more at thescarymovieproject.com.